Detroit Lions have been searching for a solid pass rusher to line up alongside Aiden Hutchinson, and it seems that this search might be about to enter a new chapter. We know that Hutchinson has already done wonders for our defense, but with recent injuries, it's clear that we need someone who can complement his presence on the line. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more exclusive Lions content. We have great games ahead, and you won't want to miss a thing. Go Lions! Now, an interesting proposal has emerged. How about considering Trayvon Walker? You remember him, right? The first overall pick in the 2022 draft, just ahead of our Aiden Hutchinson. According to Ben Solak from ESPN, the Lions might have a chance to acquire Walker in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Even after the Jags' victory in Week 5, Solak suggests that they could become sellers as the trade deadline approaches on November 5th, and guess who might be available? That's right, Trayvon Walker. I know what you're thinking. Walker hasn't exactly lived up to the expectations of a first overall pick. In 37 career games, he has totaled 18.5 sacks, which is definitely not what you expect from a player selected that high. However, the interesting part is that Solak believes a fresh start in Detroit could be exactly what Walker needs. He has already shown some flashes of brilliance this season with 5 sacks, but inconsistency is still a concern. Solak described his season so far as 2 solid games and 3 where he disappeared. That's not what you expect from a first-rounder, but it might mean he could be available at a reasonable price. Solak's proposal suggests that the Lions could send a 4th-round pick in 2025 and another in 2026 to bring Walker to Detroit. For a player with so much potential, this seems like a low cost, especially with our roster worryingly depleted at the defensive end position due to injuries. Speaking of injuries, the losses of Marcus Davenport and John Kaminsky have been a tough blow to our defensive line. With Davenport out for the season due to a triceps injury and Kaminsky dealing with a knee issue, Walker could fill that gap and pair with Hutchinson, boosting our pass rush. Solak even mentioned how the Lions would use Walker as a big defensive end who could stop the run and pressure the pocket alongside Hutchinson. That sounds exactly like what we need, right? Of course, all of this is just speculation for now. It's unclear if Jacksonville is really willing to part with Walker, but if they are, the Lions have a good opportunity to bring him to Detroit. However, other paths are also being considered. Some analysts, like Christian Boer from SI.com, suggest that the team might explore signing veterans like Shaq Lawson or former Lion Austin Bryant, who are still available as free agents. They could be short-term solutions if the trade doesn't happen. Dan Campbell also commented that the Lions have depth and can count on players already in the system, specifically mentioning Josh Paschal, who could take on a larger role. He emphasized the importance of that depth, saying, "That's the purpose of bringing in the guys we have." So, if the trade doesn't go through, it seems like the Lions are prepared to handle the situation internally. But let's be honest, signing a player like Trayvon Walker could be a game-changer for our defense, especially considering the potential he brings. What do you think, Lions fans? Would Trayvon Walker be the missing piece to strengthen our defense and make a real run this season? Or should we stick with our current depth and perhaps pursue a veteran? I'm curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Now, shifting gears, it seems we have a bit of sibling rivalry at play, and not just on the field. Our star wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown has been shining this season, but his brother Equanimous St. Brown stirred up some controversy by making negative comments about the city of Detroit during an episode of the St. Brown Brothers podcast. Quickly, the Detroit City social media team responded in kind, highlighting the population growth and ranking the city as the 26th most populous in the United States. Equanimous even tried to downplay the situation, joking that maybe Detroit could make it into the top 25 next year. But the city's response was epic. "I hope next year you don't have to move to another city." Wow, that's some shade, especially considering that Equanimous has been switching teams frequently. He's currently with the New Orleans Saints, but we know who's really making waves in the NFL, Amon-Ra. Now back to the talent on the field, let's talk about a player who could have been wearing Honolulu blue, but ended up in the hands of our rivals, the Green Bay Packers. Wide receiver Jaden Reed has been making a name for himself this season, ranking 5th in the league with 414 receiving yards in just 5 games. He has become one of Jordan Love's top targets, and the Packers are reaping the rewards. But guess what? Reed revealed that he had the best conversations with the Lions before the draft, saying he spoke with them more than any other team. He had great meetings with Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes at the NFL Combine and was really excited about Detroit. But as we know, things took a different turn, and he ended up in Green Bay. Can you imagine if he were catching passes from Jared Goff? And speaking of talent, let's take a look at our unstoppable running back duo, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Together, they have already racked up 556 rushing yards this season, more than 16 entire NFL teams. That's just insane. Montgomery recently commented on what makes this partnership so special, emphasizing their mutual responsibility and friendly competition. He even calls Gibbs his little brother, and they push each other to improve every day. Montgomery talked about how they hold each other to a high standard, ignoring distractions and focusing on their own goals. It's not about competition between them, but about lifting each other up. That's the brotherhood that will take this team far, Lions fans. Montgomery also mentioned that even in his 6th year in the league, he always learns from Gibbs. That mentality is what will help us dominate now and in the future. With these two in a backfield, Detroit's running game is in great hands. Who wouldn't want to see this duo become the best in NFL history? So, Lions fans, that's all for today. What did you think about the controversy between the St. Brown brothers? And how about Jaden Reed? Would you like to see him in Detroit? I'm eager to hear your thoughts in the comments.